it just felt authentic, right? And I think that sometimes you can tell when creators are passionate about what they're doing because it seems unapologetic. It seems like it's, it's everything that you want to do, and you get told sometimes not to do, and you do it anyway, right? Mm-hmm. Because you believe in it, and it's funny because after I watched it. Then I went outside of that and I started seeing like it press, and I started seeing like, the after shows and so on and so forth. And the thing that really struck me was how vested the Filipino community was in this, right? Because, it's something that you don't see. Right. It's something that you don't see, and you want to see yourself being fantastic. You want to envision yourself being, empowered. And it reminds me, a lot of how the Black community felt when Black Panther came out. Right. It was like, here you had this movie and everybody was Black, and somehow it wasn't a big deal. It was just, hey, they're in Africa. Right. So, I guess everybody should be Black, and so when I see Trese, that's, and everybody's Filipino. You're in Manila. Right. Like, and just from, and I want to hear, like, honestly, like deep down, like in your soul. Right. How does it feel to get that kind of recognition from your people, number one, and then from other people like myself who, can't give you nothing but love because we see it. We see you in that. How's that feel?
Before I answer that question, while you were talking about, showing your culture, showing your people in your story. It just reminded me of somebody made a film about the 1986 revolution that happened in Manila. And I guess because it was funded by an American company, they decided to tell the story from the point of view of an American reporter who came to Manila. And of course, everything revolves around, and I think it was Gary Busey.
Oh my God. Of course, I don't even know this. What is this called?
It's called I Don't Want to See It, probably.
But of course, the rest of us were just all too happy to see Filipino actors and actresses, in the film. But for some reason, he was the center of the story, and there was even a little bit of a romance story happening there.
Of course there was.
In the middle of the revolution, he falls in love with a Filipina. But now that you're talking about this, I was like thinking, why? Yeah, that story didn't have to be revolving around a white reporter reporting about Manila, right? But again,
Dangerous Life. That's what it's called.
There you go. That was great.
It's called A Dangerous Life.
Which I think is they were trying to echo a Year of Living Dangerously, right? Mm-hmm. Which was Mel Gibson as a reporter in the middle of a revolution.
Wow.
But anyway, so I guess it's also that time period, right? And maybe maybe Trese would have suffered the same fate if we tried to produce this 10, 15 years ago. So I think the timing is right. You've got a great platform like Netflix who said make it as Pinoy as possible. But going back to writing about Trese, I mean the initial audience for Trese was really, as Kajo loves to say, it was just me and Kajo. And again, working in advertising, the job requires you to get approval for your work, right? Every day we have to get our boss to approve the work. And after he approves it, you have to get the client to approve the work. And then if it gets approved by the client, sometimes it's the audience who suddenly gives you thumbs down, hashtag that sucks, So you just don't win anywhere you go.
Yeah.
So that's how, me and Kajo saw this, working on Trese. And again, there was no business plan. We had come from a time when, especially me, I invested money publishing my own comic book years before, and it didn't make money. So when we made Trese, it was just, let's do it because we want to do it. And after we got an issue done, it was like, okay, let's photocopy maybe 30 copies, half of which went to family and friends, half of which we sold. So again, not the best business plan in the world. But to hear, to see the reaction from the comic. I mean, the comic book took a while before it started to gain a reader base. But eventually, now that it's on Netflix, at least the reactions I've seen, and I would love to hear what, how Kajo's family and friends have reacted to it. I mean, it would range from, of course, my immediate circle of geek friends, would have been in touch with me. We've been doing Zoom calls talking about it. An old friend that I haven't spoken to, I've kept in touch on social media, suddenly sends me a message that after seeing the opening credits, he just started crying. The moment he saw Manila depicted in that way, he just couldn't help but cry and, feel that sense of pride of like, look, that's our Manila being shown there. My mom is now in her 70s, and I found out that in their Viber group, 60, 70-year-old grandparents are like, you have to watch this show. They're sending messages to each other of like, it's made by the son of our friend. You have to watch this.
Nice.
So you got this range and really scary texts like, oh, I'm going to watch this with my 8-year-old son. And I'm going, wait a minute. Maybe you need to watch it first before your 8-year-old son.
Screen it first.
Yeah.
But
Kajo, like emotion wise, man, does that, I mean, I can only imagine if I had been working on something for that long.
15 years.
Really, yeah, like it just broke. Like it like, come on, man. Like, how's that feel? Like here,
honestly, it's still overwhelming.
Okay.
This has always been my answer. Even before seeing the show, I told everyone that it's a weird feeling. Well, I'm happy. I'm very happy, and I'm excited for the possible new readers that this show will bring in, hopefully. But I think it's maybe because we started this thing as a hobby just to entertain ourselves, and I think I still feel that even after the show, I'm still in that space where I just want to do this because it's still fun and I still love it. So I think I'm not feeling the supposed feeling that you're supposed to feel when you think these kinds of things happen. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird.